Hi, I'm Beth from my tutoring bee, and I'm here to tell you about boom cards. So I'm actually recording this in June of 2020. So right now we are dealing with a pandemic and it's also summertime. So I wanted to show you what I use boom cards for and what they are for my summer tutoring. As you know, I tutor one-on-one online, and I found boom cards about a year ago, and I've been using them and creating them ever since. And I find that they have really helped me be able to help my students because they provide a digital format, which is super important right now. And also, I've been creating some spiral reviews. And spiral reviews, if you're not familiar, it's a mixture of different skills, so it's a great way to review with students, especially during the summertime. So it's just a mixture of different skills within one assignment or one page, rather than diving really deep into one particular skill. It's a variety. So let me actually show you what boom cards are. So a lot of people refer to these as digital task cards. And here's my library on Boom Learning. And as you can see, I have a lot of different products that I've either created myself or I've purchased from other teachers. And what I love most about them is that they are made by teachers for teachers. So let's actually take a look at one of these decks. That's what they're referred to as decks, and see what they're all about. So as you can see, I've set up this is one of my decks. I've set up this as just different various word problems. Again, it's a spiral review, and in this particular card, students would just simply type in their answer for this problem. So the answer for this problem is 622, so I've just typed that in, and then I click submit, and it moves on to the next card. So if students get the wrong answer, I'm just typing in something random and then click submit. Then it gives them a little feedback and that little whoop sound, and then they can try it again. So then they try it again, click submit, and then we can move on to the next card. So the first two cards that you saw were where students would input their answer by typing, and students can use these on a tablet or a smartphone too. It would automatically pull up the keyboard on a tablet. So that's how, and since I'm using this on a desktop computer, it looks a little bit different than that. This card features a multiple choice, so as students hover over the different choices, it kind of highlights it and lets them, choose the right answer. Once they choose the right answer, it automatically goes to the next card. Here's some more where students are just going to input answers, some more multiple choice. I wanted to show you some of the other varieties of ways that students can input their answers. And one of those is with drag and drop. So on this particular card, the students are asked to drag each angle into the correct category. So as you can see, I can just click on this and drag it, and these little fields down here will light up with this like bluish purplish color, and then they can put it in the correct spot. Now let's say that they accidentally put one in the wrong spot, and then we click submit. It gives them that little whoops. They did get these right, that are still in the fields, but then it snaps this one back to its original position so that I can try again with that one. So then we can move on and we get that ding sound. This one is another example of a drag and drop. So I'm going to place some of these in the right order, but then I'm just going to randomly put them in the wrong order, just so that you can see what happens when you get some right and some wrong. So I'm going to click submit. So you can see that 1/8 and 1/4 were both in the right spots, and then all of the rest of the fractions snap back to their original positions. And then this is another type of input where students simply click on different fields that are highlighted when they hover over the positions on the card. So in this card, they're asked to tap or click on each acute angle in the shapes below. So as you can see, each angle has an option to click on it, but of course we want students to only click on or tap on the acute angles, and when they do, it gives them that little blue circle that tells them that they've successfully selected that angle. So I'll just click those, and then I want to leave all of the other ones blank. And then one more I would like to show you. This is a card that does have a draggable protractor on it, but they are just using this to drag the protractor to a place where they need it so that they can actually measure this angle. So you can see that this angle measures 110 degrees, and then they can drag it over to the second angle and see that this angle measures 20 degrees. So with this particular card, it's not the positioning of the item that they're dragging, but it is able to be moved around so that they can answer the questions appropriately. Okay, so I've actually logged out of my teacher account and signed in as a student. I created just a faux account for myself so that I could test out my card. So let's take a look at what that looks like. So this is what it would look like on the student's end. So if I am a student and I'm signed into my account, I can see all of the different boom card sets that my teacher has assigned for me. And as a student, I actually went ahead and answered all of these questions in that blue 4th grade deck that we just took a look at. I answered them as a student, and as you can see, it tells me that I've completed all of the cards in this deck, and then I got 25 out of 30 correct on my first try. So now I can go back in here and review that same deck and try again until I get 100% correct, or as you could see on some of the other ones, I started to do the integers set, and I only answered one question, so I could go in there and finish up that set as well. So I just wanted to show you what that looks like for the students, and now let's head back over to my teacher account so that I can show you what that report looks like on that deck that I completed as a student. Okay, so here we are logged into my teacher's account again, and I am on the classes tab so that I can see all of my students. Of course, I have it kind of blurred out here because that is my login information. So now let's take a look at my students, and particularly this one, because this is me as a student, and I answered the questions in that previous boom card set as a student would. So I would just click on this little arrow here and click on report. Now it gives me a list of all of the different boom cards that I have assigned to that student. And so of course I want to take a look at this Math Mixed Review Blue Deck D. So that's the 4th grade review. So once I click on that, it gives me a little bit of information about when that student completed this deck, how long they spent on each card, and a lot of really good information. So since I was just logged on and opened this deck, it's going to tell me that I looked at this deck 5 minutes ago, or sorry, I should say this student logged onto this deck 5 minutes ago, and it's going to tell me that the student had 83% accuracy. I did go in and I answered some of these questions incorrectly on purpose, just so that I could show you what it looks like. So each of these little bars here represents each card in the deck. So it will tell me if the student got it correct or not, what they wrote for their answer. And so let's take a look at this. If I actually click on this, it will show me the card. And it tells me here that the student typed 45 when the answer was actually 110. So it just gives you a little bit of information there about what the student wrote and what the actual answer was and which card it was. And then this little section down here is helpful because it lets me know how long a student spent on each card. So especially, and they correlate perfectly with the little bars above. So of course, if students are spending a longer amount of time and getting those correct, or if they get it wrong, and you can see down here that I spent no time as a student answering this question, or if they spent like a really long time trying the question but then they still got it wrong. It can give you all of that information too. And then it also gives me information about how many times this student has attempted this deck. Since I opened this deck twice, that's why it shows up here, and it gives me the times that I, as a student, tried this deck or at least opened this deck. And so yeah, so it's just a great little recording device to help you see what your students are doing when they're working independently on these boom cards. So that's it. I hope that that was very helpful for you and helped you understand how boom cards work. If you are interested in any of those decks, I have a link in the comments for you, how you can look at those decks. You can preview any deck, the first 4 cards for free. You can look at them and see if that might be a right fit for you. And I hope you enjoy. Thanks.